for breaching or appearing to be in breach in 2 instances, why should they give way? President-elect Clinton has said, let's only talk of human rights and we will continue to trade. Please act more reasonably. No mention of democracy, so no adoption or no championing of the Hong Kong cause. And even if he had, even if Clinton had said, and we support the British in Hong Kong, I think the Chinese will just harden even more. Because if you support democracy in Hong Kong, the Chinese know that what the Americans want is democracy in China. Whether you have democracy more or less in Hong Kong with 6 million people is of no strategic or geopolitical significance to the world. It's very important to you because it's life and death for you. But to the world, it is of no consequence. But a China which is democratic makes for a more peaceful world. And that is the objective. And that's the last thing the Chinese Communist Party is prepared to concede.
Assuming we cannot get out of this impasse, in the end, who will stand to gain and who will stand to lose?
I've asked myself that question. By this move, John Major and the British government have put at risk British interests in Hong Kong, which is at least about 150 billion US dollars. Hong Kong, Shanghai Bank, Stan Chart, Swire Pacific, whole host of companies. Also Britain's long-term interests with China, trade, investments, year by year. Also Hong Kong interests of Hong Kong people in China worth few $100 billion. I ask myself why. Because the clout to see the problem through is not with Britain. The clout is with America. It is only if America adopts this issue and pushes it through that it has a chance of succeeding. So the Chinese says you are internationalizing the issue, right? And of course Mrs. Thatcher says, no, we are not trying to. But, you know, that's just words. The Chinese are calculating. Who can put pressure on them? The US. This must have been a move of such great consequence that the British government was prepared to put at risk British interests in Hong Kong, British interests with China, and Hong Kong was just a pawn on a big chessboard in which the major players are the US and China.
So this will not be in British interest either? From the way
I believe that is the reason why 3 very senior and very distinguished diplomats who reached the top of the pyramid, Sir Percy Craddock, Lord Mary McIlhose, Lord David Wilson, came out against their political masters that whom they have served, is most unusual, unprecedented for professional foreign service officers who have retired to come out in public and say, we are in breach of the agreement, back off. We are harming Hong Kong and Hong Kong's interest. And of course, without saying so, we are also harming Britain's interests in Hong Kong and with China. But I believe there was a bigger geopolitical objective of a democratic China, which was very important to America and to the West. And for that, Hong Kong was moved as a pawn on the chessboard. That is my
assessment.
My piecing together of the various very odd, very puzzling moves. This could have been done If democracy was important, that important to the British and to Hong Kong, way back in 1985, before Tiananmen, Beijing may have agreed. But in 1992, such a short time to bring out such an issue, there must have been a compelling reason. And that reason is higher alliance objective, Western alliance objective.
So we have to continue to depend on an uncertain situation for at least some time.
I think hold your breath. I have faith that ultimately common sense will prevail, the realities of the power balance will be recognized, and the Hang Seng